All right, listeners, Smoko is over. Come on, we're not here for a haircut. We are here to bark down an episode of the Australian children's television program Bluey, because that's what we like to do. Is it not? Am I right in saying that, Frank?
I think you would be 100% correct there, Brandon.
I think, Martin, do you concur?
Oh, what? Sorry, I was.
He was here for a haircut.
I was on my phone. Sorry, boss.
This episode of the Hammerbarn Project is called Left Leaning Letterbox.
But yes, hello, one and all, hello. That's the quickest way of saying that, I think.
It's your quickest way, yeah.
Yep, proven, tried and tested speed. Shall we, or shall I say?
Well,
how are you?
I was going to say, this is normally a bit where you throw to us and say, what's been going on in your lives, etc., etc. I'm going to flip it around.
Oh.
Has anyone at the table here been on any overseas European tour-based adventures and maybe been playing music at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival? Ooh. Marty, does that apply to you?
Sorry, I'll shut up.
No.
Okay, so we're done. Moving on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's go. Well, actually, Mr. Frank,
yes,
it's funny you should say that because that is what I've been doing. I certainly haven't been editing podcasts because people might scroll up through the feed and see some big old gaps. But life. You guys are dads. We're busy
happens.
peeps. So, but it's good to be back in front of the mic. But I tell you what, speaking of microphones and singing into them, and all sorts of it, backing vocals mainly, but no, thanks for that. Yeah, no, we did. I did get a chance to one of the musical acts that I, hang around with and help
Give
move
it a
their
proper
gear.
plug. What's the name of the show?
The name of the show is you can find Michelle Pearson Music on Instagram, and Michelle is a cabaret singer from Adelaide, and she's a little bit younger than me actually, but she has been around the haunts in this town that we like to call home, singing fringe shows and whatnot.
I'm fairly sure she's the person who sang at our wedding.
Ah,
there you go. Yeah, I think so.
And I wasn't at you. I couldn't make your wedding because I was overseas.
Right. You were overseas.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, there we go. Because it was the same sort of crew.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
We got a mutual friend to set us up with some music.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Right. No,
Adelaide.
she's Adelaide. Oh boy, it's a country town with the gall to call itself a city. No, she's a great lass and an incredible talent. And our mutual friend Aaron Nash has been playing piano with her for a long time, and they were putting together a new show. And Aaron said, this could do with some harmonica. I know a guy. And so I came in just to play harmonica. Next thing you know, I was singing backing vocals, playing acoustic, and then we got a chance to take the show to Perth Fringe. Did Perth Fringe, and we won the Best Music Act overall there. And then when we brought it back to Adelaide Fringe, and we won the House of Oz Purse Prize, which was funded travel and accommodation to play the show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland for a month. And so it was just, honestly, not to go on about myself, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to go on about it, because it just wouldn't be right not to sing the praises of how awesome a time it was. It really was, look back on it and think that was a life chapter kind of stuff, because the band I was with, they're such awesome people, and hanging out with them is just
so other than Nashi, you didn't really know any of these people before going?
Not before music, no. Yep. No. I'd had some. I actually lent Michelle a PA about 10 years ago.
That counts.
And so we had met.
Yeah.
But that was through Nashi anyway.
Yeah, well, exactly. I asked that because I was chatting with Nashi when you guys got back, and he goes, look. I said, how did Brendan go? He's sort of that recent addition.
Dangerous question.
Recent addition, and whereas all the other bands seem to have known each other and played for a long time. And he goes, I knew he'd be fine. And I'm so glad that the feedback that Nashi got was everyone else just going, that Brendan, he's pretty cool. And Nashi's like, you see, I've been trying to tell you, I know this. I've known him for a long time.
Good bloke.
And you made a new friend over there, didn't you? An Australian fellow who also has done a voice on a particular
and
yes.
we've done that episode, so we
television.
can say that in Cubby, the
Cubby?
no, that's not who you're talking about. You're not
Right.
talking about Adam Hills?
Oh, yeah. We're talking
Yeah?
about Adam
Yeah,
Hills.
because in
Cricket.
Oh, no, we have
no,
done
it's
Cubby.
in Cubby.
We have done Cubby.
Oh, you're right. He's the cricket commentator.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
getting
yeah,
confused.
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
no,
Sorry.
Everybody
take your finger off the
it-
button, Frank. It's okay. It's all right.
Oh, just get this ready.
No, but we've done both of them, so yeah, take your
No,
finger off
that's
the
true.
button. Yeah, he was the cricket commentator, Adam Hills. I mean, UK folks will know who he is because he's got a show over there, and he's such a nice guy.
He went to the show
So
twice.
he
I
came to
believe?
the show
Yeah.
twice. The first time he came up to the he came up to the stage afterwards. He's like, "You guys, that was amazing!" Because we're playing a show. The show's called Down Under, the songs that shaped Australia. So it's a tribute show to a lot of and it's sort of like Michelle kind of tells stories interwoven with the music of the songs that culturally and politically and musically sort of shaped the story of the
Australia.
land down
Yeah,
under, and he bloody loved it, and he kept I had tears during this track and all this, and because this is all the stuff I knew when I was coming up, and I just thought, oh, what a nice guy, during the month that we were there, we'd bump into people and they'd say, "Oh, thanks for the show," and we'd say, "Oh, good."
How
You
did
know,
you
you
hear
ask,
about
"How
us?"
did you hear
Yeah,
about it?"
yeah.
So many people said, "Oh, well, we were seeing Adam Hill's show because he's a very popular comedian. We were seeing his show, and he kept talking about you guys. And he put so many bums in seats. So Adam, if you're listening, and I assume you are,
Of course.
thank you so much again." And then he came back, and he was like, "Oh, you guys, could we do one of the tracks we did in the show was AC/DC's Long Way to the Top."
Nice.
No spoilers. Come and see the show when it's in a theater near you. But he said, of course, famously, bagpipe solo.
Right.
And he's like, and we were in Scotland. And he's like, "Do you need a bagpipist? Because I think I've seen a couple around. And he goes, I'll find one and I'll get him for you and I'll pay for it." He was such a maybe you wouldn't want me saying that, but it was so sweet of him. And he messaged Michelle a few days later, like, "Oh, the guy that I was thinking has fallen through. But if you find anybody, tell me. I'll shout
I'll cover
you.
it."
I'll shout you a bagpipe player." In the end, it just like we were worried that bagpipes, like this is getting really nerdy, but bagpipes aren't usually tuned to concert pitch. They're not like tuned to A440, and we would have had to because we had
you
a
can press
keyboard
the
and-
button
Anyway,
now,
yeah,
Frank.
okay,
this
yeah.
ready.
It was,
Yeah, there we go.
no, but we were worried about that, and you know, it was a busy show, and we had a tight time. But the point is, Adam Hills is the legend that you think he is. And I said to him that I missed out the opportunity the first time I saw him, but then the second time I said, "We've actually got something in common, like an episode of Bluey." And he had to run, and our stage manager was like, "Get off!" because the next act
Stop
coming in because it was
gasbagging.
in one of the Spiegel tents, but he was like, "Oh, no way!" And so yeah, legend. Are you regretting giving Brendan permission to
Yes.
talk about something?
Yeah,
a
a
little
little
bit?
bit.
Why are you doing that? Oh.
As you were doing it, I'm like, "This is a bad idea, Frank. You're gonna live to regret it."
10 hours later.
10 hours later. Oh, but have I used up everyone's time? Are you
Yeah, I'm
folks
just
well?
a set of bare bones now.
Oh, let's hear about it.
I've been okay.
We need a smooth transition sound
Yeah.
because that's where you play that one.
Speaking of bones, I think I just got whiplash.
Okay, we've got a multiplicity of possible readings.
We sure
of
do.
This one.
Let's
all
hear 'em.
layered on top, maybe obfuscating, because perhaps we have a, pretty over the top or pretty standard retelling of Hitchcock's Rear Window.
Of course.
A very
That's the
very
first
top
thing I
layer.
thought of.
But really, that's just a little bit too surface layer, isn't it? We've got maybe what's really lying deeper, a commentary on the pie-loving classes, watched by the white-collar office worker while they create a folly in her garden, not unlike the landed gentry's obsession with landscape gardening in the late 18th century. No.
no,
This
right.
isn't what it is.
No.
Because everyone, I've done some wiretapping.
Oh.
I've done some very close looking, and it turns out that if you look at the long dog using a microfiche, you can find microscopic imagery not only of the secret entrance to Bluey World, but also the Cold War tale of Oleg Gordevsky, known for wearing a ostentatious World War II Soviet army belt, and Adolf Tokachev, known for his love of sweet drinks and difficult women. Their story of how they were found out by two young female spies, but ultimately then redeemed by those same spies. It turns out they were not enemies after all, but it just makes the left-leaning mailbox being corrected makes so much sense. It's all there, guys. It's all in there.
Whoa.
Woo.
There we go.
That's up there, my man.
Top
Oh,
five.
okay.
That's top
Thank you.
five.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Soul
it's
clap
up
for that.
For sure.
Ah,
for sure.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to leave this fantasy. Not to say that it's a fantasy. Whoa, he's hiding here. But
are you talking
but I'm also keen to hear you tell us what it's really about.
Well, we need to know what episode it is.
Oh, we do? Yeah, no, I forgot we did that.
What it's really about.
Am I waiting for you, Brendan?
I've been waiting for a moment to do this.
There you are.
It's a Pepsi Max, everybody.
Do you know what? I think it fits with the theme of this show.
A
Let's be
maximum
honest.
taste, zero sugar.
I've done that on an episode of Toy Power. We literally just, intro song plays, and then right before Trent comes in, I've just gone straight into the mic, and he's gone, well, this is going to be a fun episode, isn't it? Mine was not a Pepsi Max on that occasion.
Oh, well, what-dee-da.
All this is a roundabout way to say
What?
this episode of Bluey is called Tradies.
You better believe it is.
Oh, what an episode.
Oh, man.
This is like top flight. I reckon this is
it
like
is,
top
isn't
flight.
it?
I know
Yeah.
this is one of Aaron's favorite, if not her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
like
definitely
a-
up there. Although, we were just saying the folly of turning it on and go, oh, this is a good episode.
Yeah.
I do that every time. Like, I forget.
they're all good
They're all
episodes.
so good. Like, what are we going to do with these people? How dare they?
Just going to have to make more.
Anyway, what is it really about? Yeah, it's about some tradies coming around and building a
Nice.
fish pond,
Yeah, fish-
and the
fish
girls
pond,
are just like
spying.
spying on them. And there's a thing about the girlfriend of one of the guys, and they're having a fight, and they're like enemies, but then they're not enemies. And turns out that they're not enemies with the tradies anymore either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love just how structured and posed and just spacey your bare bones is. And you get to that and you're like, you just talk
Yeah,
like
this,
a
this, and
5-year-old.
this.
And then
This,
this, and then did that, and
and-
then did this, and yep.
Yep.
Can I have some chocolate now?
Speaking of,
You can wait 5 minutes, okay?
But I want it
No.
but speaking of such contrasts, that is the contrast in the first 5 seconds of the episode. Like the two girls just humming away and drawing with the chalk on the thing, and then like Sparky's car falls up, and it's a theme that he continues throughout the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Just every time he's walking past, he says,
I love also then the contrast of chocolate milk, aka Chippy,
Yep.
when he gets out of his car, and it's just the
Bing,
nightclub
bing,
song
bing,
from the
bing.
night before sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, yep, that's the two. You got the old head there who's playing his classic Australian rock,
that's
and then
true,
the-
yeah.
and then the young apprentice who's just
And
has got a Red Bull to start the day.
their cars as well. Like
Yeah.
this one's it's got to be modeled on some like Hilux or like a 70s series
Yeah.
or something.
The white open
and
top
just
view.
like
With the
utilitarian.
checker plate.
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
on the
yeah,
back.
yeah.
That's what
yeah,
gets
and
me,
it's all
yeah.
dirty and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And then Chippy's car is one of those like SS Holden sedans or something. Or
Oh,
like one of
it's
those
because it's the
Falcon-
Ute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the
It's
Ute
got with the cover over the back.
with the cover
Yeah.
over the back,
And the
shiny and
spoiler,
new, and
yeah.
then the spoiler. It's just exactly what you see all those these apprentices, and they come into money,
Yeah.
and they're working hard. And the first thing they do is buy a hotted up car.
It's got mag wheels as well, doesn't
Give him
it?
a couple of years, he'll be driving a Highlight.
I think the thing I love the most about that car, though, is when the door opens and you can see all the stuff that's crammed under the seat. There's a soft drink, like a fast food soft drink container, like in there, and some other stuff.
Maybe I didn't notice that, and maybe I didn't because I spend most of my life trying not to notice that in my car.
In real life.
I'm very, very, very well. I've become immune to noticing that stuff, so I can pretend it's not happening.
I thought you were going to say because you're just enamored by the looks that Cherry gives
that
you.
as well.
It's like the absolute.
Chippy's
like,
so
If looks could kill,
Oh, yeah.
Chippy's a dead
and
man.
the poor bloke, I don't know. Maybe he deserves every second of it. But he turns and he looks so hopeful. He's like, "Say goodbye," and Cherry's not having it.
Just giving him nothing.
And we just watched it then. Before we started recording, this is the first time I noticed his tattoo.
Yeah, he's got
Little cherries.
Oh, he's got one on the other arm.
On one side, it's like the big cat.
Yeah.
Or is it?
I thought it was like a wolf.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was like a big cat.
I thought it was meant to be a riff on the whole, the wolf pack tattoo type thing.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm not familiar with this.
Oh.
But on the side, on his left arm, as he gets out of the car, there's a cherries.
Oh, I didn't see that
A
one.
little
Nice.
bunch of cherries, a little pair of cherries.
I do love his design so much. He's got long hair, so you can't see his eyes.
Yeah.
He's another dog with no eyes. He's like a mate of yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got the short shorts. And what else? What did I say? Yeah, the cherry tattoo. He's got his fold-out ruler and his little...
Yes. Oh, so good. So good.
Such a good design. And it's a classic, Laurel and Hardy...
Yeah.
C-3PO, R2-D2. There's a tall...
yeah.
Tall
There's a
and
tall,
short.
Yeah,
roundy one.
big time.
Yeah, so that's great. Of course, we have to say that Sparky, voiced by...
Well, you're speaking of great Australian comedians.
Hey,
Voiced by the great Mick Malloy, one of my favourites. From the Late Show and the D-Generation,
the Working
originally,
Dog stuff,
Working Dog Crew,
then Martin Malloy,
Martin
the radio
Malloy, the
show
radio
when we were kids.
And then I think
I
these
had
days
Eat
he
Your
does
Peas
a
on CD. That was
same.
one of my first CDs. I asked for it for
was it
Christmas.
like the Brown album, and then there was Eat Your Peas,
yeah,
and then something, and then
That was
did
Poop Shoot.
Poop Shoot, yeah. As you can see, they're a high class radio show. That's what we listen to here in Australia.
Oh man,
Champagne comedy.
Champagne comedy. A little story about when I went in to record. Joe Brum zoomed in and he told me oh yeah, you might be a bit too young because he's a little bit older than me. You might be a bit too young to know the D-Gen and stuff. And oh mate. I was all over those late show VHSs, thanks to Frank.
Excellent.
And he said, "Oh, we got Mick Malloy on board to do."
He told you.
Yeah. No, he was, and you could. It was really sweet actually because you could tell how excited he was to tell people. He was just absolutely buzzing that he's got Mick Malloy on board. So obviously a big fan.
You should be because he does such a good
Oh
job.
man, so good.
So many good vocal takes in this one. Just variety and
and I mean this complimentarily. When I first saw it, I knew Mick Malloy was going to be in the episode, but I didn't pick that it was him to begin with because he was he was Sparky,
exactly.
And the way he's talking to the kids, not to go too far ahead, but when he's giving them a little pep talk and being he's such a friend. You can tell he's a dad. You can tell he's a dad because he's a tradie, so he's rough and tough and tumble. But with the kids, he's just really sweet.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That surprised me a bit because Mick's shtick in a lot of the skit comedy and even Martin Malloy, he was the big angry guy who's always had an elevated voice. So when he comes in with his really
as a
soft
father
sort of
figure kind of thing,
and he's
that's
like,
really cool
my
to
kid's
see.
spy too.
It's actually my favorite role of his. 100%. I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful, wonderful performance for him.
But you gotta love who is it? Enemies! Bark at them!
And bark at them, yeah.
And they just
not working. Run
walk,
away.
Yeah, walk through. They don't care. Like,
Yeah, they're used to it by now.
Yeah, just the idea of that's how their doggishness comes out in that moment. Is like,
fight or
who's
flight.
this?
That's a great
And it
bit,
also, it very much interlinks with that sensation of when you're a kid, like weird adults who aren't like family or friends coming
Don't know
into
them.
your house.
This is scary.
Yeah.
It's very sort of
Confronting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very odd, and
And it's like they're obviously shy,
Yeah.
but they don't want to admit they're shy, so they do the spying thing,
The
and
spying
like,
thing, and they
and
can just
it's an
hide
excuse
underneath
to, I don't know,
they're curious, but
Yeah.
also very shy.
yeah,
Which is nice when mum gives them just the mandate to watch.
yeah,
It's like keep an eye on them.
yeah,
Like,
and you can see when they're under the stairs, like that's the first time Chili sees them in the episode. Oh, hey down there,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
doesn't know they're there.
and just that you can see when she says, "Keep an eye on them for me," and then like, okay,
And we've been tasked
and
with
you
this
see
thing.
their tails start going, the universal symbol of now they're now they're
we're
excited.
engaged. Yeah.
But I also just love the setting of this is the first and only time we've seen like under the house
proper.
Mm.
and of course being a Queenslander
Heaps
on
of room down
stilts
there.
for the
It's a whole
like-
bedroom down there.
yeah and it's just I don't know like one of the houses that I lived in when I was younger, it had like an under the house area, and there's just some, I don't want to say romance about it, but there's some like a vibe of this secret sort of
Yeah.
hidden area that I talk about it with my brother all the time. Like we name areas from our childhood that have that kind of weird vibe, like a cupboard that
Secret
you never
cubby
went
house.
into.
Yeah.
And then one day you see what's in the cupboard, and like I can't. You'd probably you're a lot more learned than me, Marty. There's probably like some amazing Eastern word to sum up that, but it just had that mystique. Yeah.
I love that they were just able to stand up almost
Yeah.
unabated underneath there. Gives you a scope as to how big that space is. I mean, there's room for Chili under there as well, as we know. Like she goes under the house at one point because she gets a little bit curious herself.
Did she go under the house?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Isn't there a scene where she's like looking out through the stairs with the girls?
oh no
Through the
oh
stairs.
no
I
that's
think
through
that's
the front window.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
But
there's the shots where she kind of like
she's hanging
swings
down upside down
underneath.
It's funny because she's concealed between two slats.
Yeah.
But you can see her nose is on the other side. And the first time I saw her, I was like, "What's going?" Oh, she's upside down. And it looks really funny. There's just enough of her character to show that she's upside down. And I love Chili's attitude in this, like how involved she is. She keeps betraying herself.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
she wants to be the hard, but she's so interested in the goss as well.
Yeah. Is that moment where, we found out who was talking. She's like,
Oh, good
oh,
one.
yeah. Just totally focused in
he
on her work.
keeps on
It's
his-
a girl. And then you see the eyes pop and she turns around.
Really?
Oh, really?
and even before that, when they come in and says, "Oh, he's always on his phone," Big Belt doesn't like it. And she goes, "Well, I don't like it either." And she stands up and she looks through the window, and then the next thing she says is, "He's texting." Like it's like, well, Chili, are you gonna be there? It's so great. She doesn't even want to admit to herself that she's like, oh, really? She just loves the goss.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. She's so real.
You got to love the gossip for the whole thing of just them going, well, there's like
And that
Big Belt
bit,
telling the
like,
story.
Have you found out anything? It's like, well, yes, because at that point, isn't Bluey drawing chalk on the pillar underneath the house?
Yes. Yeah,
And
you got to
Bingo
like the story.
comes back,
Yeah.
and Bluey asks Bingo,
eating an
and
apple.
Bingo's like, well, that delivery. Oh man,
So, but he was okay. He fell off a boat. He
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah.
And what is it? Chocolate milk can't drive his car.
All he does
is
is
like-
talk about his boat.
all he does is talk about it. I don't know. My brother Ryan has bought a boat with his father-in-law.
All you do is talk about Ryan and his boat.
It's true. It's true.
And I think it's kind of like it just kind of sounds like a Ship of Theseus type thing, because it's kind of like all it needs is the hull fixed up and a new outboard. It's kind of like it's the hammer that's, I've had this hammer for 8 years. I've only replaced the handle twice. And the top of it 6 times. I'm just imagining this tinny, and all it is an outboard. And
Oh, boy.
And they're looking through a magnifying glass as well. Like that would help at the distance at which they're looking.
I didn't
But that's
see
kind of
that.
what you
man.
need.
So good. Yeah, if you've got a magnifying glass as a kid, you've got to do something with it because you're being a spy. You've got to have
And the funny thing is as well, I didn't realize until I was doing my bare bones bit that it is a spy-like thing for them to have code names.
Yeah.
For the people. I was just kind of like, they're just giving them funny names because they don't know their actual names. But no, like having secret code names is very spy-like.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about that.
I love when they just say it together. It's like, big belt and chocolate milk. Big belt and chocolate milk. It sounds like an avant-garde musical duo. Big Belt and Chocolate Milk with their new album, Sweet Drinks and Difficult Women.
Sweet drinks, difficult
women.
And in another lovely attention to detail, I think it's a shot where you're looking from behind as the guys are eating ice cream. If you actually look closely, he has some bum crack going on there.
He's got
Big
a
Belt.
little sneaky little bit of plumbers.
Yeah, once again, brilliant tradie.
Does that make it?
Illustration.
I believe around the time this episode was released, Mick Malloy sort of reshared that screen grab on his social media, and he just went, they gave me the old 20-cent coin slot, didn't they?
They showed his good side.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The other concept that I really love in this episode is the idea of the word that somebody said when something else happened as an explaining for story. The word, what was it?
He
when the mower didn't start.
The word that Dad said when the mower didn't start, and then the other one is the word that, talking to Chili, the word that you said when the dishwasher broke.
And she's like, oh dear. Oh man.
Because it renders it in your mind.
Yeah.
It's like
whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, that's like... It reminds me of that old Count, the Count who loves to count video.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. I
a
laughed
great one.
so hard at that for way too long.
Did you know that one, Brendan?
What's that one?
So it's a
one
classic Count video where he goes, he sings a song.
Like
where it's
the
like,
Count from
you know that
Yes,
I am
Count
called the Count because I really love to count. And he basically, it's a song. I start counting very fast.
Yeah.
And then all they've done is at the right time just put in a beep.
Oh no!
I like to beeping, beeping
I
ever
probably
faster.
have seen that.
Yeah.
It's the simplest edit, but
Yeah.
you sit there and go,
It's amazing what your brain does when
Yeah.
they put that.
Oh, boy.
It kind of shows that the beeping just makes it worse anyway.
Yeah.
Your brain fills in something horrible. Anyway, but in the same way, the gimmick of what I said when the dishwasher broke.
Yeah.
is,
Man. Yeah, it's that Japanese garden theory again. Your mind
it
fills
is,
in the
I was thinking about the same thing.
I do love so many deliveries from this. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna get in early and say I am not going to remember all the things that I have to say about this episode.
I think
I'm gonna
you could
kick myself
probably
later.
ding for that.
Yeah,
It's a
pretty Brendan thing to say.
But it's true every single time. But so many great deliveries from the kids. I love when they're sitting eating the ice cream. And what does Bluey say?
We know all about your boat.
Yeah, we know all about your boat.
And missus.
And
He doesn't let you eat ice cream. No, I think we know all about your boat.
That's so perfect.
So it's said so well because it's like so incriminating.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with us because we'll tell other people all about your boat.
And he's just unflapped by it. He's just like, he genuinely likes these kids. Like, you guys are good at spying. You think she's genuinely like complimented. And because they're like, it would be easy for a grown up to kind of be like, oh, these kids are just like
Yeah.
But he
Annoying,
just
yeah.
finds it so charming, and he's so charming right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little tackers.
And maybe my favorite, one of my favorite moments. Just the universality of ice cream.
Ice cream?
Or just between
Ice cream.
Ice cream. That split screen
Yeah,
of
yeah,
all four of them. Just ice cream. And they're all children.
And then you kind of get the side by side because you're kind of like, oh yeah, it's like a pear with the offsider and the main one, and the offsider and the main one. And I love that. Yeah, it's children and tradies have the same reaction.
Yeah,
to ice
exactly. And they're of course grown up, so they run off and do it. Mum, can we have some ice cream? No. And the deflation. It's
The drama.
so funny. It is like a Greek tragedy. They just fall over. It's so like melodramatic. It's so good. The animation is spot on. And then they're
in the
lying there
fetal
all
position.
forlorn watching them. And Bingo's just, they're getting sprinkles. She's so broken.
And there's just a little eye twitches closed or something. There's a little.
And then Cherry rings Chippy back, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I can talk. Oh, I wish I could say I don't know exactly his position, but oh boy, I know what you're going through, Chippy." And
babe, I didn't say that. Okay, I did say that, but I didn't mean it.
Oh, now that Aaron cracks up every time that bit. But then when he goes off, oh gee, I wonder if there's anyone who wants this spare ice cream. Bingo just
quickly
drops
Bingo
all
breaks.
pretense. She just races.
Spy game's over. Ice cream is involved.
Bluey doesn't want to resist, but she does a little bit. Bingo, nothing. Just straight there.
And ice cream lady?
Ice cream lady. Lee Sales
it's
again.
Lee Sales?
Yes.
Yeah, it's what's a
excellent.
thingy.
Breaking the Bluey
It's,
multiverse,
Here, there,
playing
and
multiple
everywhere.
characters. Oof.
Yeah, nice.
Is she? No, she plays the ice cream person.
Yeah, so is it the same ice cream person from South Bank?
I swear.
She is
but
more
Lee
than
Sales
one.
Is
Yeah,
Coco's
she's
mum,
also
isn't she?
Coco's mum. Yep,
That's true.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. Yeah, right.
Oh, but I didn't check that it was the same ice cream lady. But if it is, that's
I'm
also
fairly
awesome.
sure it is.
Yes, it makes sense that
Yeah.
it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it is Coco's mum. Maybe Coco's mum's living a double life. And just
Whoa.
turns
If
into a
you're gonna
completely
live a
different...
double-
Microdot.
If you're going to live a double life, you pick something a bit more exciting than an ice cream vendor.
Hey, don't yuck people's yum, man. She might just turn
Hey,
straight
that's
into...
an excellent way to just like go around suburb, getting watching people, getting an idea of what's going on.
Turns out Coco's mum's the greatest spy of all.
I think so. We've cracked this wide open.
Who's afraid of the ice cream lady?
No one.
No
And
one.
that's the problem.
Yeah, she'll get into any room. You just walk past any guy.
Get onto any work site.
Yeah.
What's that? They're building a new army base? You guys want some ice cream?
What? You're going to turn away the ice cream lady? What are
me.
you? It takes someone harder than anyone I've ever met to turn away the ice cream lady.
But it is, you're right, Brendan. It is that super sweet moment of them sitting on. It's kind of like the crux of the episode. It's like the heart of the episode.
Yeah.
Them sitting there, him like biting through this ice cream and bits going everywhere.
The kids are like taking little licks.
And sharing it. But yeah, I do. I also enjoy the fact that he's obviously a dad.
Yeah.
I'm for some reason imagining he's a little bit older and his kids have kind of grown up.
Yeah.
But he's still got, so he's kind of almost on that cusp of granddad feel.
Yeah.
But, you know, they could be the same age.
He's
who knows?
certainly
But
like
it's just, I feel like those are the tradies I've known have just been that little bit older. They've got kids who have left home. Yeah. They just remember what.
And maybe he
kids running
comes
around is
from like a rough sort of, like he's a rough and tumble guy. Like you know, you want to, like, I don't know, he's a pretty macho guy, but he's got such affection for these kids, and he's got such affection for Chippy. You can tell, like this kid, you know, he's like, oh, he's, you know, maybe he's, you know, he can work pretty hard when he wants to.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
like
they're trying to become friends again.
You know, this guy, not to paint with too broad a brush, but you know, Chippy, he's got the long hair. He's on the rocks with his girl. He's got his hotted up car.
Has to get a lift from the
probably
boss
got a
into
DUI.
work.
And you know, he's got like, you know, things that he's going through. But like, it would be easy to write him off as a hooligan, but not Sparky. You know,
No, he knows.
he's like, nah, he's every time he sees him, come on, yeah, we'll hurry up. You know, like he still has faith in him. He's still and it's proven by the end. You know,
That's true.
Yeah.
I think I wonder, I've been trying to think in the run up to this episode and go, what would they call tradies in like the US?
Yeah.
Is there another, like, would you just call people a tradesperson? Or, anyway,
Tradesperson?
that's what we call them in Australia.
Yeah.
They're tradies. And that's why we've got Sparky, electrician.
Yep.
And Chippy is
usually a
Well,
carpenter.
I think there was some.
Carpenter,
I think there's some discussion on our Patreon page from
that's right.
Casey, I think it was, who pointed out, goes, shouldn't it be called Bricky because
that's true.
More of the builder,
it's more
sort of
masonry type sort of work.
I reckon Bricky's probably.
I reckon Sparky's a better dog
pretty
name though.
Sparky is a better dog name, and it's sort of like Bricky's sort of even more specific. Even though Sparky is specifically electrician, when I think of a Sparky, I think of like electricians do a lot of stuff. I mean, not to say Bricky's don't, but it's
Careful
more
now.
like it's more like Sparky's a better dog name, and Bricks like you just conjure up bricks. Maybe Sparky, you conjure up things. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Cool. I did read on the Bluey Wiki under their trivia section that there's a when Sparky, me missus, oh, you mean Jules? And people have taken Jules, which we assume is short for Julia.
Yeah.
Jules as in energy, Joules, Joules, which of course is a measurement of electricity because he's a Sparky.
Oh. That's interesting.
It's a bit of a stretch. I hadn't thought of it.
I'm going to take
feel
that as
like
a
it's a
stretch.
bit of a stretch.
Yeah. But
I'm glad you brought it up because otherwise I would have forgotten about that. Well, not usually. The way his eyes
so
move
confused.
around. Not confused. Just
she's not my enemy. Well,
He's just adding
not
up.
usually.
Not
Yeah,
usually.
yeah, exactly. He's just thinking of all the moments that his wife has been angry at him.
and just the way that ends. Tell you what, wouldn't want to be your mum's enemy.
Yes, that's
and
a
the
great
girls
line.
love it. They're like,
Yeah.
and just like this episode. I mean, I keep saying this episode like it's uniquely balanced, whereas the whole show is so balanced. I mean, come on. But Chili, like, it could be easy that she's a bit too hard on Sparky, but she's just got to put up the brave face. She's not going to get walked over by tradespeople.
Yeah.
But also
3 days, Sparky?
3 days, and when she comes out and go, hey, are you kids eating ice cream? There's sort of like a what's going on here? Kind of, she's kind of okay with it, and once again, obviously a dad because like, oh, sorry, Chili, yeah, that was me. Like he's not like, oh yeah, maybe he should be, but he was like, oh, it's just the one, and she's like, still 3 days? Oh yeah, 4 at the most. She's like, okay, like there's nothing. There's no huge animosity between them.
It kind of implies they've known each other a bit longer than I've just hired you for a job. Because
Yeah.
she walks in and goes, g'day, Chili. And
Yeah.
like, how do you know mum's name?
Yeah,
And
it's
that sort of
like
thing.
maybe
Like,
the friend of a friend sort of
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just love the balance. It's so real because neither of them are going to give an inch. Like, I'm not going to let you walk over me, or I'm not going to. But I'm not going to.
I'm not
be.
gonna-
It's. I don't know.
I'm not going
It's
to be
just-
very certain about timelines either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to commit fully.
I'm not
It's
gonna
just
commit.
so. How do they?
3 or 4.
How do they just illustrate such a real interaction between a homeowner and a tradesperson?
Yeah.
That's it.
In just
I
such
wonder if
little.
it's uniquely Australian as well.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Maybe.
you're just like, you get some dodgy builders, so you kind of have to
Yeah.
keep an eye on
Yeah.
them. But it also reminds me of the fact that when my voice changes when tradies come around.
I give my brother
example?
Steve grief about this all the time, but go on.
It's just the fact that when your tradies come around, you're like, oh, yeah, hey, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There you go.
no, we got this, no, I didn't know what
gravel
to
in
do.
the
I didn't
voice.
know what to do with that.
I'm going to throw my brother under the bus. So my bro Steve, who lives in Perth, we talk on the phone all the time. We rarely see each other, but we talk on the phone like almost daily. And we both got this like understanding that we'll ring each other, and if we're busy, we just won't answer. And often, if we get busy, we'll just like hang up. I'll just I gotta go by. Yeah, that sort of thing. But he'll be going through like the drive-through or getting a coffee or whatever. And I told him I can always tell this is terrible. I can always tell whether it's a man or a woman that he's because he'll just be like, yeah, oh, thank you, thanks very much. Oh, and then or he'll be like, and this is I'll tell him that this is an amplification, but it's not. He'll like if it's a bloke like serving him coffee,
Yeah.
he'll be like, yeah, g'day, mate. Yeah, just could I grab just a latte if you can? Yeah, cheers, appreciate it. And his voice goes down a good like a perfect fifth. and he goes, no, it doesn't. I'm like, dude, I can tell immediately. Yeah, g'day, mate. Yeah, cheers. Yeah. It's so funny.
Because mainly, you just don't want to seem like a ponce.
No, yeah, that's true.
Just like when you're dealing with tradies, you're like,
It's
I know you come
yeah.
in. I'm a bit emasculated because you have to come into my house and fix
Yeah,
a thing.
it's
You're
true.
like,
That's true. It's true. Like language goes a long way and tone goes a long way. In fact, a friend of mine, a female friend of mine, needed to get her tires. Needed to get new tires, and I said, "Oh, this is what you do." Like, because I think. Sorry to anyone out there who's a good person who works at a tire shop, but I think I think all tire shops are criminals. And they will try. It doesn't matter if it doesn't.
So tire shop salespeople,
traffic
and
controllers,
and real estate
Actually,
agents.
that being said, oh really? Yeah. Add that to the list.
This is quite a list.
No, but I had some very good traffic control the other day. The guy was very professional and it was very safe and efficient, and I was very impressed. But they're few and far between.
Not enemies.
Not enemies. Well, not usually. Well, no, usually. In that case, that was the outlier. That it was good. No, but she needed to get new tires for her car, and I'm like, I think they're all crooks. So this is what you do. And I went out and I'm like, okay, they're R750. What are they like? 55, 16 R13s or something. And I said, this is how you
the old R7.
We got some of those.
I said I read her tire type, whatever it was, and just said, this is what you need to do. You need to go in there and say it like this. Oh, can I just get some, the 55 R16s though? They're the 16s, and just go. Oh, you got any of them in stock? And if you say it like, then they'll be like, mate, this person might know a little bit.
Knows what they're talking about.
I don't know. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. But it's better than like. It's just like, I'm not one of the people you can sell snake oil to.
We had a similar thing related to like tone and just how people assume that they can sort of walk over you and stuff.
Yeah.
Parent comes into the school. Basically, long story short, they'd been hacked, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're a business owner. This was right on payday, so they couldn't access any of their stuff. So they were trying to pay all their contractors and whatever. Anyway, so we ring up because they've got a local IT guy that they go to. But basically, the parent had come to us because he had lost sleep on it the night before, and his daughter said, "Hey, the IT guys at the school are pretty good. Maybe they can help." Anyway, so we ring him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, but this is just with the admin, you can't do that." And we're like, actually you can because of XYZ, and you could hear the tone change in a pin drop. And then all of a sudden he's gone from this, I can tell this guy what to do because he doesn't know computers. And we're like, yeah, your client doesn't know computers, but we do. And then it was just backpedaling all the way. Because basically this guy hadn't done his job properly and hadn't secured the account, blah, blah. Got it all back because that's what we do. But just that total. And then all of a sudden it was really hard to get in touch with him after that because once he realized people who actually knew what they were doing were on the case, he ran away.
Cop that, he says.
Letterbox.
Oh, yes, because this is directly after an episode that we've already...
Onesies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already... No newspapers?
No newspapers.
No.
How good.
This is one where there was a few episodes that sort of linked together.
The left-leaning letterbox. Amazing.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, in the episode before, in onesies, in the chaos of the chase scene, I think it's Bingo
on a bike.
On their bike, crashes into the letterbox and gives it that little lean. Sparky comes along, just pat,
Yeah.
fixes it up.
Yeah.
And
And
a little nod.
yep, off he goes. I love that. Like, that's really like.
Guess
it's
we were
the
going
blue
back to being
multiverse.
enemies. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
he's such a pro.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are we enemies? Oh, why's that? Just the way he dresses that as well. Yeah, oh, yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah.
He knows all the tricks of the trade, if you will. Guys? Right, guys? Right?
Good use of the buttons, Frank. Well done. good buttons there.
Long dog. Anyone?
Ooh, not
Yeah,
I.
I got- well,
I
had
never
to-
spot him. I leave it to
I
you
had
guys.
to look into the microfiche of the zooming
yeah.
in to
Small one.
see that it was on
I need my eyesight checked.
it's instead of the fluffy dice, it's on Sparky's car.
sick.
It's hanging off the rear view
I'm
mirror.
watching it again. Oh, man.
Oh man, that's a great line. Oh man, when he gets
Oh,
the pie.
yes.
Yeah.
Erin's favorite, my sister Erin, her favorite bit is
When he
his
waddles
face.
over. Oh right,
His face after he takes that mouthful of pie, he just like collapses. It's just ecstasy.
We have been talking about how it's not very Mick Malloy, but I think that "oh man" is the most
Yeah.
Mick Malloy
Yeah, you're
it
right,
does
right.
in this entire
Yeah.
thing.
Fair.
So yeah,
I think one of the other really Mick Malloy bits was what I thought I'd cheekily open with "not here for a haircut."
Yeah.
That's I reckon that's a big Mick line. Oh dear.
and then we do have the closing, which is very sweet. He's got a lift.
Yeah, he's yeah, no. And he's got and see you, Chippy.
And just all three of them are just like,
Yeah. But they're trying to be friends. Yeah, you called that out before.
Yeah.
But they're trying to be friends again.
Yeah.
He's seen it all. He's seen it all. And you know what it reminds me of? It's like this is a bit of another story, but our mutual friend, like, well, actually, I won't say who it was because I don't want to incriminate. Because I think this was when they were entering a relationship that has since passed.
okay.
So
Keep it anonymous, thanks.
so no names. But I was dating. But this. So basically, this person organized this person a present for a big birthday.
Yeah,
and it was like expensive, and this person was dating someone else at the time, and then we were talking about it with the girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time. We're talking about it with her mum, who would have been in her 50s at the time. This is many years ago, so I'm nearly the age that she would have been at the time. But I'm in my late teens, early 20s.
Age is not important. Continue with the story.
Sorry. And she said, "What's this person like organized that present and put in that money for them?" And we're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, okay." And we're like, "What?"
Veteran.
Like, I'm telling you, she's into him. And we're like, this old lady.
What do you know?
Got no idea. Weeks later, it would all came out into the open. Like when you're young, when you're like, just like
No, I don't like
you're just
that
like
person.
these old expired humans. they've got no idea, and then you see it happen. They're just like you haven't not to say they've seen it all and they know better than you, but they know. Like you don't know everything. You're young. You don't know everything. So
Experience counts for something. folks.
Absolutely. And that's what I see in Sparky. Like he's not. You can write him off as just a simple tradie, but he knows what's going on in every aspect. He knows how to. He knows what Chili wants, and he respects Chili, but he's also. Oh no, well, I'm not gonna, like you said, Marty, I'm not gonna overpromise. And he's got the kids figured out. He's got Chippy figured out. There's more to Sparky than meets the eye, I reckon.
and he knows how to make a good fish pond.
He certainly does.
Mm.
And the music during that.
No.
I reckon that's some Joff choir, do you reckon?
Yeah.
It's hard to
I
know,
reckon.
but those, I reckon those are the bits where he gets on his tuned Joff Choir. I don't know. Joff, the man. It's just so it's swelling and
I will say, talking about your favorite episode, The Sign, and a lot of people's favorite episode, this is one of the ones when I watched it at the time.
I remember you saying
where I
this.
just went, are they selling the house? Because while you get wrapped up in the story and Chippy and all that sort of stuff, at the end of it, I go, cool, they built a fish pond. Why would you build a fish pond in this old Queenslander that's been part of the family for however long? Like, it just struck me as leading into this, it was episodes like Dirt, and some other ones.
Stumpfest as well, where they're removing the stumps and she's talking about the fish
putting
pond.
the fish pond in. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like and this was the one that sort of solidified that sort of idea in my mind. I went,
they're tidying the place.
They're
up.
putting in some, they're putting in some effort.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that, and I was kind of like,
and you were like, I don't know.
I don't know about these old people and their opinions.
Experience counts, mate.
Well, there you go, everyone. It played out in real life.
Here's a fresh new idea, by which I mean something I've been doing every episode for the last 30-odd episodes. Shall I give a little bit of credit where it's blue? Do you mind at all?
To some of the tradies who make this episode.
That's right.
Blue
are
credit for the blue
applying their
collars?
trade. Let's do it. So we need some drums, and we need some, anticipation, because unto this person that I'm now mentioning goes blue credit from the sound department. David Champion.
Hooray!
Champion by name, champion by nature.
There it is.
Thank you so much, David, for putting yourself in this show. The sound on this show is amazing. You and Dan Brum and all the folks, they just do the stuff. But this is about you, David, this time, because you get the credit where credit's blue for this particular episode, and we all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You're a champion! Do you think he hates that?
Probably.
Do you think he hates that we've done that?
Someone comes over and says, "G'day, champ." He's like, "Don't you start."
Don't you start. We've just assumed that he's going to be okay with that. Something that he might have hated his whole life. Yeah. If that's the case, then...
Thanks, David. That was right, wasn't it? David Champion?
David as opposed to champ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, David.
Yes, thanks David.
Davo.
Thanks, Davo.
DC.
But if you like the champion thing, then you're a champion. Listeners, thanks for coming along for the ride like you do. I was going to say every week. Again, I always do that.
Let's keep this non-time specific.
Is it hot in
Well,
here?
let's just say week every time.
Let's
and
just
then
say week
really
every single week.
people.
The missing episodes. People are like, where are all these weekly episodes? But I hope you guys did your Hammer Barn visit earlier today, because we've got ponds to build. We've got
It's like the pump.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's the
pumps.
Ryobi tools.
The moss rocks.
Moss
I
rocks.
love them in the episode. The moss rocks are on a tarp out the front. You can see that. It's just a little thing.
But decking to build.
We've got this stuff to do, and we need to get supplies. We need to get tools. We need to get big belts to keep the tools in.
Pies, chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah.
I reckon there's a cafe there down at Hammer Barn.
Oh, that's right.
It's right down the end of aisle 300.
Left-leaning letterbox.
And if you hit something, Cherry's going to have to drive your car.
Oh, babe, I didn't mean to.
Whoa. Drive safe, guys.
I mean, I did, but I didn't.
Created and produced by Frank Brennan and Marty. You can follow the Hammer Barn Project on facebook.com/HammerBarnProj, at HammerBarnProj on Twitter, or HammerBarn_project on Instagram. Theme featuring Nibblings, Kaylee, Jade, Ashley, and Reese, and PA announcements by brother-in-law, me, Josh. Thanks for listening, and remember to get down to Hammer Barn for cheap shovels.
Demerit points.